San Gimignano, a favourite little town in Tuscany, beloved by travellers far and wide thanks to its beautifully preserved streets and soaring towers. Most visitors duck in for an hour or two, but if you stay in the area, you'll appreciate your time there so much more. Find out why on episode 263 of the Untold Italy podcast.
Ciao a tutti and benvenuti to Untold Italy, the travel podcast where you go to the towns and villages, mountains and lakes, hills and coastlines of Bella Italia. Each week your host, Katy Clarke, takes you on a journey in search of magical landscapes, history, culture, wine, gelato, and of course, a whole lot of pasta. If you're dreaming of Italy and planning future adventures there, you've come to the right place.
Ciao a tutti and benvenuti. Are you relaxed and ready to hear about one of Tuscany's favourite towns? I hope so, because this one is a beauty. Today we're taking a virtual trip to San Gimignano in the heart of the Tuscan countryside. Perched on a hill and surrounded by vineyards, it will be a hardened heart who didn't find this picture-perfect town charming, even if they only stopped for an hour or two. Prepare to be truly smitten, especially if you enjoy a stunning sunset overlooking the valley and onto sleepy towns in the distance. Like most places in Italy, San Gimignano is best enjoyed slowly and its stories and traditions revealed over time. Our friend and local guide Annarita Ferranti is here to share her insights into this magical town with you. But before we get started, I wanted to make an announcement about a not-so-little project that the Untold Italy team and I have been working on for around 6 months now. As many of you know, we have hundreds of expert-driven podcast episodes and curated articles about travelling in Italy. From practical insights to peeks into Italian life, it is actually a huge body of work that I'm extremely proud of. Now, I reckon there are at least 3 books worth of Untold Italy content online, but the reality is some of it may not be easy to find and access, especially if you're on the go and out and about in Italy. So I've been wondering how you could easily take Untold Italy with you on your trip and have expert research at your fingertips when you're planning for some time now. And in the middle of last year, I had the answer. Since then, we've been building the Untold Italy app, which will be available for you to download very, very soon. Our vision for the app is that it's a pocket guidebook with suggestions of things to do, places to stay, where to eat, and more for our favourite destinations in Italy, as well as practical information for your trip, and there's so much more inside. I wanted you, our podcast listeners, to be the first to know about the app because really, of all our followers, you are our most wonderful support and cheer squad, and we so appreciate you. Of course, we had you front of mind when designing this app thanks to your queries and suggestions. In fact, there are some special features in the app added just for you, including the ability to hear our podcast episodes without programmed ads and also to filter episodes by topics such as Rome, food, wine, Tuscany, and more. I'm so excited about this app and I hope you are too. I'll be sharing much more in the weeks to come, but if you're interested in being among the first to try it when our first content release is available in March 2025, you can sign up for updates at untolditaly.com/app and we'll also put a link into the show notes for you. Now, after all that excitement, it's on to San Gimignano and Annarita, who can't wait to share its history and traditions and where to find the best gelato. Of course, andiamo. Bentornata, Annarita. Welcome back to the Untold Italy podcast.
Hello, buongiorno.
Buongiorno. How is everything?
I'm fine. I'm in the low season, so I'm quite relaxed, waiting for 2025 a new season. So, yes, ready in general.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting in Italy because maybe some people from English-speaking countries don't realise this, but you do have a very strong down season where you need to recharge your batteries and get ready for lots of people coming to visit.
Yes, exactly. During the low season, usually we travel. We go to the other side of the world to take a break. I've been to Sri Lanka, very far away.
My brother lived there, so it's
Oh, very good.
very fun place. You couldn't get really a more interesting contrast to Tuscany than Sri Lanka, though. So, Annarita, you've been joining us on the podcast before, and some of people may know your voice, but for those of listeners that haven't met you before, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? Obviously, you're very adventurous, but what's your background and how did you come to be working in tourism in Tuscany?
So my name is Annarita, but everybody calls me Anna. I attended the 2 private courses to become a tour guide 10 years ago. I'm 40 years old. I know that I look younger, but I'm not anymore too young. I studied at Siena University, Humanities. I have a graduation in Greek and Latin literature, and I attended also a PhD in Granada in Spain in 2013. And my studies were focused on the relationship between the Renaissance art and the classic literature. At the end of it, instead of choosing the teaching in general in the university or in the public school in Italy, I decided to turn in tourism that I really love. And now I'm here working with many people coming from all over the world. And after COVID, I work more in the area of Siena and San Gimignano, the north. In the past, I used to work even in Florence because I'm also a licensed tour guide in Florence, but it's too complicated with the family to work also there. So I have selected a smaller area close by where I live.
Yeah, it's very beautiful around there, and it would be quite hard work to get into Florence because you're about an hour away from Florence, aren't you, by car?
Yeah, 1 hour. Actually, I live in Valdelsa, which is the area, the valley close by San Gimignano. It takes about 40 minutes by car for getting to Florence, but actually Florence is always busy, so it's 1 hour. So I prefer closer because I have a little baby, so I'm also a mom, so.
Yeah. So today we wanted to tell everyone a bit about beautiful San Gimignano because it's a town that visitors simply love. And you know what? I think it's because it has those dreamy elements that people think of when they have the idea of a typical Italian village, the cobbled streets and up on the hill and all of this. But most people just go there for a day, maybe wander around the streets a bit and have a gelato at the famous gelato place there. But they might not really get a good sense of its history and why it is so special. So that's why I asked Anna along today to help tell some stories about San Gimignano. So Anna, why do you think San Gimignano is so special?
So San Gimignano is very popular all over the world. Consider that during 2020, after the COVID time, they got around 5 million visitors during the season. A huge amount of money for such a small place. San Gimignano is a medieval village of about 11,000 people. So you can imagine how much they are happy to get so many visitors every high season. It's popular because it's a UNESCO site since 1990 approximately, so it's popular all over the world, okay? Everybody coming to the area of Siena, they stop by San Gimignano even just for 45 minutes. They take the gelato, they take some pictures, and then they leave. It's popular because of the medieval atmosphere. It's popular because it's very well conserved. And there is the possibility to take amazing pictures from distance, but even inside. So it's romantic. It's a place for a wedding proposal, for example. It's also known as the medieval Manhattan because of the towers. all these reasons, in my opinion, make this place very worthy to visit. But according to the reason why you called me back to the podcast is also to give some more reasons to maybe stop there and stay there, not only for a few minutes for the gelato and for a couple of pictures, but also to spend at least a half day with or without a tour guide. A half day means 3 hours. It could be enough time even to get a little bit of knowledge about the secrets, about the legends, or about, I don't know, the history, the real history and the monuments of this little town. This little town is on top of the hill, so a very good position. Is very famous for the production of a special wine, which is the Vernaccia di San Gimignano white wine DOCG. The DOCG is, as probably everybody knows, the most important title for a wine in Italy, and is in an area between Siena and Florence. Florence is in the north, Siena in the south. An area full of problems, of wars, of fights during the Middle Age, because Siena and Florence were rivals. So let's say that San Gimignano was in the middle. And the reason why there are so many towers is because the towers had needed help the population there to have a look over the valley around and as a form of defense, let's say. San Gimignano is a stopover of the Via Francigena, like Siena, so it became popular during the Middle Age, like Siena, the same. During that time, San Gimignano was very, very rich. I'm talking about 1300, right before the Black Plague of 1348. San Gimignano was popular for the commerce of wine, of the Vernaccia. Even Dante Alighieri tells about the Vernaccia in the Divine Comedy, but also because of the artisans, leather production, ceramic production, and so on. And in some area of the town, we still conserve this tradition of the artisans. But the area in which you can find the traditional artisans is the area that the tourists don't visit because the time that you have at disposition is very short. Only 40 minutes, only time for the gelato and bathroom and few shops on the area of Porta San Giovanni, St. John Gate, which is the area in which usually you come walking because it's close by the bus station. But it's also the area where you normally are dropped off by a private driver, because in front of Porta San Giovanni, you find a big square where it is common to stop quickly to get off from your car, and then you get in. Porta San Giovanni and the first road, Via San Giovanni, St. John Road and St. John Gate are very popular and full of little shops. I'm not saying it's not a good idea to explore that area, but what I can say upon my experience is that that area is very, very touristy. So what I suggest is also to explore the rest of the little village after reaching the main square of the gelato, which is Piazza della Cisterna, the Cistern Square, right after this main road, Via San Giovanni, St. John Road. After the gelato, or you can get the gelato at the end of the tour, you can explore all the area of Via San Matteo, St. Matthew Road, and up until St. Matthew Gate, where you find, in my opinion, the best shops of the artisans. You find a person, a man, who produces bells, and he also gives the possibility to realize bells to the tourists, the bells or leather bags. And also the famous but not popular, Chiesa, the Church of Sant'Agostino, where we find the fresco paintings from Benozzo Gozzoli, who is one of the most popular Renaissance painters in Firenze, the one who realized the fresco paintings into the Palazzo Medici, the Medici Riccardi building, the first house actually of the Medici, and popular also in San Gimignano, because as I told you, San Gimignano is in between an area, Siena and Florence. So in San Gimignano we find Renaissance and medieval art. The medieval art into the Duomo of San Gimignano, the rest of the Renaissance art in the other little churches. But another tip for the contemporary art lovers, in San Gimignano you can find also Galleria Continua, which is contemporary art exposition and also art school of contemporary art. So they collect many students and so on, but it's possible to arrange workshops with them and to learn about the new projects of contemporary art that someone might love. I don't know. The contemporary art is difficult to understand, but it is also interesting to learn about it. And another place that I really, really love in San Gimignano is the Spezieria di Santa Fina. Santa Fina is the patron, is the protector of San Gimignano. In honor of Santa Fina, it was opened after her death during the 1300 little hospital that now it has been transformed into a museum where you can still see the rooms dedicated to the pharmacy. So all the vases and spaces dedicated to the history of the pharmacy of Santa Fina. Everything is after Piazza della Cisterna. So keep walking just a few meters because San Gimignano is very small. So it's really worthy to discover all this area. And at the end of 2023, it has been opened and is free entrance, the path on top of the walls, medieval walls of San Gimignano, and you can walk until the other side of the village, and you can see the old fountain of San Gimignano and see also Val d'Elsa Valley, take pictures, see the nature and so on, and also have a look at the third gate of San Gimignano, which is Porta San Jacopo, which is the one that is completely outside the touristy path.
I love that view from the top of the walls there. It is amazing. And the first time I went to San Gimignano, I found it, and I was walking up to that area with a friend, and there's a garden beneath the walls, isn't there? And there was a lady singing opera in the garden. And it was so nice because it was so unexpected, and you can go up there and there's a beautiful cafe there where you can have an aperitivo or like just a glass of wine of the Vernaccia and look out over the valley, and wow, it's one of the most beautiful views in the world. And I tell you something, it's even better at sunset, isn't it?
Yes, it's even better at sunset. At sunset time is the moment in which all the tourists go back to Florence, Siena, or back to Val d'Orcia or to the hotels. So San Gimignano is empty. It's very romantic. It's very nice to go there after 6 p.m., in my opinion, or before 10 a.m.
And it's a lovely place to go for dinner as well because it's not so crowded, and there are some beautiful restaurants and cafes on the outside of the wall. So got a beautiful view, and even inside the wall we've had some delicious meals. So if you were to spend some time in San Gimignano, like you suggest getting there before 10 and having a look around and maybe going out, then you can go to a winery or something like that and then come back and even stay there because I think it's very beautiful to stay there.
It is a good idea to stay there. Of course, in summertime it's very, very hot, but everywhere is hot. So it is good for me to choose these moments of the day, or very early in the morning or late in the evening. I spend there dinner. There are many hotels or accommodations. You can even stay there and sleep there. But those moments are very quiet, and you can really enjoy the atmosphere of a very, very beautiful village, very well preserved, very well conserved, but sometimes too touristy. But that's what happened probably in every place in the world with this charming atmosphere. So,
I mean, they're right there, being a beautiful village, and it's not that far from Florence. So it's really like the perfect day trip from Florence, isn't it? Because it's so close. I really would say, though, if you love that sort of medieval atmosphere, it is really beautiful, and it's unique because you can see San Gimignano in the distance when you arrive because of the towers, and a lot of hilltop towns know which one is San Gimignano because the others don't have the towers, do they?
exactly. There are a few points in which you can stop and get to see the whole view. The best one, in my opinion, is going to Gambassi, so driving after Porta San Matteo and climbing through the hills. And if you stop after 1 kilometer, you can see, in my opinion, the best view of San Gimignano and see the towers and all the town. And there are many accommodations or wineries with the view of the towers, and you can enjoy even a wine tasting there with this unique atmosphere, unique view. Yeah.
Beautiful. We stayed at an agriturismo close to there one time, and we could see San Gimignano from the pool area, which was lovely. And also you can see it from Certaldo.
Certaldo, yes. Yeah, another interesting hamlet.
So do they have any special celebrations that they take part in that's unique to San Gimignano? Do they have some festival?
The most popular celebration they organize during the season is the festival Fiera, it's called in Italian Fiera delle Messi, at the end of June, which is a celebration of the agriculture and is the most popular. You can enjoy and see parades of the different districts because also San Gimignano is divided into districts like Siena and like Florence. But recently, we are arranging, always during the high season, some festivals. In July, we have Notti Lucenti, which is night dedicated to the lights. So we have special lightnings all around the hamlet, and it's a celebration that is popular for the local people and probably not so popular for the tourists. Okay, every year the date can change of this celebration, but it's around the beginning of July. And then there is another one that I really enjoyed, which is the San Gin. It is a little fair of the gin producers that takes place in September in the fortress of San Gimignano, which is called La Rocca di Montestaffoli, on top of the hill, close by the museum of the Vernaccia Museum. And it is during the day, and it is interesting because you go there and you can taste gins, the different producers, and also eat something special. It is like a little Vinitaly, a little fair of gin, like the ones we have for the wines during the year everywhere in Italy, like in Firenze or Verona and so on. So it's a good chance to match tasting of something that is not so popular, like the gin and the Italian gin, I mean, and San Gimignano.
When you think of gin, you don't really think of Italy. A lot of the different gins you're seeing these days, they're infusing the gin with different flavours.
Yeah.
Do they have special local flavours that they put in the gin?
No, not special flavors. They use the normal process for the gin production, but the last few years is like a trend, the production of gin. So there are quite a few famous producers, local producers of gin.
I didn't know that. There you go. You always learn something new. I love this creativity, though, and the enthusiasm that the locals get together and they will put together these little festivals and then people join in. And I think it's super important because I'm sure that local people have been leaving San Gimignano. But if little festivals are super important to keep those traditions alive, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an occasion also to invite the population living there, but also living close by. Is another way to live such a touristy place. So I really enjoy to go to San Gimignano for these occasions because I feel like in a different place.
I think it's really clever actually because, it's almost like the organic way that people are just keeping themselves together even in this time where, this tiny village attracts so many visitors. It's super important to keep that culture alive because it's actually what really makes it special. So would people, when they go to San Gimignano, do you think, I mean, I've walked through that big gate and it's actually really special because I think that, it does give that whole atmosphere of the perfect medieval town, doesn't it? So when you get there, but we really need to encourage people, keep walking down the street. The shops are very tempting and there's some very nice things in those shops, very nice souvenirs. Keep walking and you go to the Dondoli, isn't it? There's a Dondoli.
Yes, Dondoli. Sergio Dondoli, famous gelato maker. The gelato is actually really good, but he doesn't need publicity from us.
No,
It's popular all over the world, and but the gelato is really, really good.
it is very good. Is there another gelato place that you know that's close?
Actually, in the same square, there is another producer of gelato, and also the gelato is good. If you don't want to lose time in line for getting the Dondoli gelato, you can go faster to the other one and get a good gelato anyway and enjoy it. And maybe you can spend the time doing the other interesting things you can do. But if you don't find a line or a huge line in Dondoli, the Dondoli experience is quite good. Also because he invented many special flavors connected to his personal life, but also the history of San Gimignano, like la crema di Santa Fina, made with pine nuts and saffron. Santa Fina is the patron. Saffron is one of the most popular products from San Gimignano since the Middle Age, because the saffron crops were produced as a color, a yellow color in the Middle Age, and now is a DOP product for cooking. So is a must. San Gimignano is a must for the production of saffron. So he has this special flavor that is really, really good. When I go to Dondoli, I always get la crema di Santa Fina because of the unique flavor that you don't find in another place. But in general, if you like the gelato, Dondoli is good, but also the other shop close by is really good. So
He's really done a very good job of advertising. It might be even, in fact, the most popular gelato shop in Italy. I don't know. It could be. But he won some awards. But that's super interesting about the flavours. I think, when you connect those local and seasonal flavours back to the town and these stories that you can tell. And I know that Anna's got hundreds of stories about the area that she lives in, not only San Gimignano but also Siena, and she joins the guests on our tours and they love hearing all those stories. So So, of course, we love having you on the podcast as well. Now, Anna, this has been a really lovely little window into beautiful San Gimignano. Can you let our listeners know how they can stay in touch with you and perhaps book a tour with you when they're in Tuscany?
I have my email address that you can maybe share with when you do the postcard. You have my email address is Annarita Ferranti at hotmail.com. I reply fast, and I'm happy to lead you around Siena or San Gimignano, or just also giving you some tips about where to go in terms of even restaurants or cafes or wineries and so on.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, I think this area is very well known, but like anywhere that we talk about in Italy, the more you dig and dig and dig and you take some time to appreciate the local traditions and the culture and where they're getting the ingredients from and creating delicious gelato flavors, that's when the magic of Italy really comes alive. I think, of course the views are amazing and the towns are cute and all of that, but it's the actual culture that pulls it together that makes it truly special. So grazie, and thank you so much for joining us on Untold Italy today.
Thank you, Katy. Thank you very much.
Beautiful San Gimignano is a magical place, and all the more so when you discover the stories held within its sturdy walls. I love wandering the streets and enjoying aperitivo there as the sun sets. And we've had some of our favourite meals in Tuscany in San Gimignano, including a delicious beef tartare with shaved truffles. Buonissimo, so delicious. Of course, San Gimignano will be featured on the Untold Italy app with the gelato places, aperitivo stops and artisan places mapped out for you. I'm so excited to be able to do that. If you want to learn more about San Gimignano and find all the places that Annarita mentioned, as well as how to book her for a tour in the region, we've provided her details in our comprehensive show notes at untolditaly.com/263 for episode number 263. You'll also find the link to sign up for app updates there too. Grazie. Thanks for your ongoing support of Untold Italy. We truly appreciate all of you, our listeners, joining us from around the world. If you do have a spare moment, we would appreciate it if you gave us a 5-star rating and review on your favourite podcast app. That way we can reach more Italy-loving travellers just like you and raise the profile of our wonderful guests like Annarita, who you heard today. Next week, we're delving into another wonderful Italian destination and uncovering its many secrets. But until then, it's ciao for now.
The Untold Italy podcast is an independent production. Podcast editing, audio production and website development by Mark Hatter, production assistance and content writing by the other Katy Clarke. Yes, there are two of us. For more information about Untold Italy, please visit untolditaly.com.